deal is done, completed, and it's a here we go. My understanding, and it's an important point, let's enter into all the details of this story.
Manchester United have remained in contact with Eduardo Camavinga's camp for some time, keeping informed on the situation and any potential developments. There have been some reports suggesting that Roma have set an 80 million to 85 million euro price tag on Manu Koné, but I'm told the figure is not accurate, as Roma's actual asking price is significantly lower. Now, that story has come from Jamie Jackson, and Romano has just regurgitated that just to add a little bit more extra onto the content. But we know that Roma are not asking for 80 million plus, and that's in euros. The price for Manu Koné, I feel, is going to be a little bit cheaper than what it would be for Camavinga. If you've got a choice between Camavinga and Manu Koné, I know Koné has got the favourite spots in the French squad ahead of Camavinga. Personally, Koné's wages are going to be cheaper. The fee's going to be cheaper. So financially, benefits Man United better. But Man United have been scouting Camavinga and wanting Camavinga for a while. I know Koné's been going for a bit as well, but I would take Camavinga over Koné. I think he's the better player overall for United. I think he's quicker. I think he's better press resistance. Maybe not as strong as Koné. Look, both players have their benefits, but you're splitting hairs really in terms of where they're at. Camavinga's the younger player as well. He's been going so much longer. It's crazy how good this guy was when he was just a teenager as well. So yeah, my preference probably would be Camavinga if you were pushing me to make a decision. I wouldn't mind Koné though. I've bigged him up and talked about him enough. I'm not just going to say that he isn't worth it because someone else has come onto the scene. The story on Camavinga this morning is that there is a real chance that actually could happen for United with what's happening at Real Madrid. It's whether the club move for him and show that ambition to get him. If we've been chasing him for so long, then why would you not go back in and try again now? And that's the sort of position and why we're talking about Camavinga this morning. I think it's quite clear that Manchester United still want him. And if they do, and they can get him for 68 million, I think he's worth every single penny. At 23, that's a no-brainer for United. That fee is spread out comfortably over the length of his contract. What his wages will be, I don't think Manchester United will have a problem with that either, because this is the guy that's won more than Tchouaméni has won at club level. And I think United, when we heard about the stance with what Ben Jacobs said on Tchouaméni, not worried about the wages, when you're buying someone from Madrid that is of the top quality level, then United will pay them wages. And that's always really been the stance from Manchester United. They will pay, and they want their highest earners on the pitch playing. And that was why we discussed Lisandro Martinez and not giving him a new deal. Andy Mitten was saying this the other day, saying that Man United have got a little bit of a situation to deal with Lisandro because he's going to want more money, and that's going to put him up there in the top bracket again then of Man United earners. And if they do give him that contract, are they convinced that he is going to be on the pitch? That he is going to be there every single week? And the answer to that is no. There is no guarantee. So players earning a lot of money have to be performing for Manchester United. That's been said quite often now, actually, on that one. Let's get into the comment section and let's see what everybody is saying. Get in there. Give me your thoughts, please, everybody. I can see plenty of comments coming in. I'm going to come in there now and just randomly scroll up. Camavinga is just 23 years of age and he is like Dembele. He needs to change to realise his absolute potential. Dembele at Barcelona was injury prone. At PSG has become a monster. Same can happen to Camavinga. Brilliant player. On his day, absolutely fantastic player, Camavinga. And it is something United need to be looking at constantly. Just to get into that Bruno Fernandes story, by the way, let's just bring this up because it's come from Gianluigi Longari, who has said Bruno Fernandes has still not reached an agreement with Manchester United over a new contract. Recent talks ended without a breakthrough, while several clubs have contacted his representatives. Further talks are expected, but no agreement has been reached yet. So Bruno's still discussing what What would it be over? Would it be the length of the contract, the money involved? I don't think Bruno's going to be looking for too much more money. I mean, how much more can you take? He's already the highest earner at the football club. And in line with that, there can't be much more room there. I don't think United would go too much further. He only got a contract extension, what was it, 2 summers ago now? 2 years ago to the day, probably. Near enough, where his contract got renewed for United. So, yeah, I don't think that this is obviously anything, well, let's just say different or to worry about or anything to be concerned about. I don't think it is. I think it's just negotiation. I think Bruno would like to say. But one thing I will say with Bruno is he's probably looking at what Man United are doing this summer before signing any contract. And I wouldn't be surprised if Bruno didn't sign a contract this summer until he's seen how this team's performing and where it's going. Well, Bruno Fernandes might be looking at next summer and going. If United don't pull their finger out and don't get the right players and are not competing, like Bruno says, then he may change his mind. He may not be at Manchester United. And then everyone will see how much we really will miss Bruno Fernandes. But it is an interesting one. And like he said in them interviews, we need to sign players that want to play for United. The players that come to United have to be the right players that fit in what we're doing. And we're going to play this way. We're going to win and play for titles playing this way and be fully committed. If we have another dodgy season and drop out of the Champions League, then I don't see Bruno Fernandes lasting at Manchester United. I really don't. I think he'll end up moving. I think that's where Bruno's at. He doesn't need to sign his contract, by the way. He's got plenty of years left in his contract as it is. So there's no concern for Bruno Fernandes right now. And if I was Bruno, honestly, for what I've put into this club, for what I've put in, the years and performances and levels that he's kept, I would be holding out on a contract as well. I would want to see what Man United are doing. If there was one player that could have this stance and actually say that this is how it's going to be, I am playing my cards here. I'm in control of this situation and I'm not going to be pushed by anybody. There is one player in this squad that can stand up and hold the club up to ransom a little bit. It is Bruno Fernandes for what he's put in. So again, I've got no issue with Bruno not signing a contract because it actually benefits us. It benefits us in a way that Bruno's not signing. He's clearly not happy. It might force Man United's hands a bit more because without Bruno Fernandes, this team falls apart. I'm telling you right now, people may laugh at that and they may actually think that that is a ridiculous comment to make. But I'm telling you right now, without Bruno, this team is nothing compared to what it was last season. He is the key to everything that goes on. You build around him to make it work. If you're committing to him, you build around him because he is the best player in this squad by a mile. I'd say if there was one player that every single club in the world would pick out of Man United's squad and take without hesitation, him. Simple as that. And that, I think, goes again with what all of the players, all of his peers and everybody has been voting regarding Bruno Fernandes as the best player and had the best season. And that was with, like what Cal said before, the poor start to the season that he had. That's a shout out a lot to what Ruben Amorim was doing, doesn't it, though? Again, madness. Let's get a few more of your comments in on this situation. I want to move on to the next story in a moment. That's the truth, Adam, 100%, says Andy. Thank you for that, mate. What are you talking about, Adam? I think I just explained what I'm talking about. Who would blame Bruno if he did leave? Respect. No one would blame Bruno if he left. Not one Man United player. Sorry, not one Man United. Yeah, well, not one Man United player, not one Man United fan would have an issue with Bruno Fernandes leaving if you were looking at the ambition of the club and if they didn't have a good transfer window. After everything that he's put in, yards-wise, for this team, definitely I would send him off with all my blessings. I'd be devastated because then I would be really concerned for this club. I really would, but hopefully we have got time to turn it all around this summer transfer window, get the right players in, and hopefully he is happy and wants to commit again to United because I think that's where we're at now. We've lost the chance of getting mega money for Bruno Fernandes because obviously we're 2 years on from that now. And now we're looking at making it work with Bruno Fernandes in the side. So we have to look at it that way. So we are building around a 31-year-old. Where is the succession plan? Well, the succession plan would come, hopefully, within the next 2 years while Bruno Fernandes is still here. It gives you time to try and find somebody better, because right now there is nobody. So when you're trying to build a forward line one summer, you're trying to build a midfield the next summer, you're trying to build a defence the next summer, doing the open heart surgery, which everybody's ignoring, but everyone used to always love quoting Ralph Rangnick on. We are in the middle of that. You don't take out the heart, which is Bruno Fernandes. This is it. You open it up and you see what's working, and then you obviously work with that. And that Bruno Fernandes stays there. Everything else around it has to be fixed. And so right now we're building the squad. And then eventually you have to start looking at picking out, like I've constantly said, them gem players, the icing on the cake players that you can, because you've got a core squad. Right now you've got Bruno Fernandes. United will have to replace him eventually. But right now, United have to get sustainable football. Bruno Fernandes could do like Kevin De Bruyne has done and go till he's 35 and still be playing high level like he was at City. So looking at that, yes, I don't mind building around Bruno Fernandes right now. I really don't. I think he's the right player to do that with. And let's be honest, if you could say to us, we're going to get another 3 years out of Bruno Fernandes at the top level, then it's worth it. Because within that time then, while you're successful, hopefully, you can start looking to make a plan past Bruno Fernandes.
Guys, as always, remember to like this video, turn on the notification bell, subscribe to the channel, and see you soon.